All eyes on Iowa as the countdown begins. Candidates crisscrossing the Hawkeye state with just 7 days to go before the very first presidential caucuses. But what does it take to organize a campaign there? Steve Brown joins us live from Des Moines, Iowa. So, Steve, campaigns, they run on money, of course. So it must take some to get an Iowa campaign rolling, right?
It does. It does take some money, but in campaigns, the two most valuable things that they have are money and time. And in Iowa, it's much more important to spend your time. And by far, the person who has spent the most time in terms of the Republican presidential candidates has been Rick Santorum. We were out there yesterday while he was out pheasant hunting with Republican Congressman Steve King in western Iowa yesterday. We did have a chance to talk with some of his campaign staff and consultants, and they like the way that their guy has spent his time well in Iowa.
Precious resource is time, because it takes time to meet and make a connection with all these Iowa caucus goers. And if you want to do it the right way, you better get started early.
And Santorum has been to all 99 counties in Iowa and did so earlier this year. Michelle Bachmann, currently on a bus tour, will accomplish that goal. Santorum did it a little bit earlier, and those sorts of things do count quite a bit out here. Heather?
So who has the caucus campaigns that are working in Iowa?
I think you have to put Santorum in that group. Most certainly Michelle Bachmann, based on how she did in the straw poll, winning that event earlier this year, definitely has a core group of a very effective campaign staff. But you also have to talk about Ron Paul. By acclamation, Iowa Republicans say that the Paul campaign is the one that has been out there in the fields working the campaign, working the caucus field the most and the longest and the hardest. And that is in part and parcel why many folks believe that Ron Paul is a contender out here in Iowa, not just to finish in the top three, but potentially to win it. Front page of the Des Moines Register yesterday. Can Ron Paul win this? Part of the reason why people think he can is the work that his volunteers and his staff have been doing, trying to make sure that everybody shows up at 7 o'clock on January 3rd for the Iowa caucuses. Heather?
Yeah, there's the boots on the ground. Thank you very much, Steve Brown, joining us from Des Moines, Iowa.